The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Welcome back to Part 1, Session 2 of the Dungeons & Dragons Starter Set. I'm Joe, and we'll get started with Mike, Kurt, JJ, and Mickey shortly as we see how the adventure develops with our characters, Sir Moss, Thor, Ferris, and Bree. Enjoy the podcast.
All right, so if you guys, after your short rest, you're going to pull the cart off the road, tie it up, and follow the trail. What's the marching order for that? Who's going to be up front?
I'm in the rear with the gear.
All right.
I'm happy to take the lead.
Okay.
Now, do you have a shield?
I have a shield and an 18 armor class.
Then I guess you should go first, since I do not have a shield.
Although-
I will go second, though.
So I'll go
I don't know
third.
if I have a shield when I'm using my warhammer, but I will figure that out. Warhammer's usually two-handed, right?
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe there's like a great hammer and a warhammer.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I remember Warhammer is just a really big one-handed.
Okay.
Warhammers are versatile. So
Yeah.
you can wield it two-handed, deal 1 die 10.
Okay.
Gotcha, but I'm going to have my shield to get my 18 AC and go out in front.
So it's an 8?
It's 1 die 8 if
Okay.
you go one-handed.
Right.
All right,
1
so...
die 8 plus 2.
All right, so you're heading down the path with Thor in the front.
So Ferris, thanks for healing me back there.
And I killed a goblin threatening you.
What was the
You
passive
know-
wisdom for Thor?
13.
Yeah, passive wisdom perception.
Do I need to roll it for you?
Nope, just a passive.
13.
Okay. So about 10 minutes down the path, up front, you're kind of keeping an eye out, I guess. You didn't say you were, so I have to treat it this way. That you see across the road, across the trail that you're on, there's definitely a snare set up ahead of you. There's a rope, and it's kind of clumsily concealed, and it's tied off here to the bent tree, and it's right there on the trail. If you stay on the trail, of course, someone's going to step on it.
And as soon as you mentioned that, I turn around. I'm like, all right, it's your time to shine. Come on, Bree. You get up there, and you do your job, and you get the snare.
Whatever, Sir Walter.
You could walk around it.
Why don't you go up there and hit the snare? I don't see you limping like I'm limping.
I'll go up there and get that snare. What do I have to do to go up there and get that snare?
It's a trap. What do you want to do with
It's
it?
a trap.
All right.
It's a trap.
Throw a branch.
Throw
at
a
it.
rock at it. Yes.
Throw it.
I guess
branch on it.
I'll chuck
I'm going to throw you at it.
I'll chuck a branch on it.
Okay.
I tell everyone to back up,
Back up.
and I'll throw the thing on it. Do I need to roll?
No need to roll. You chuck something at the snare, and it does trip, and it pulls that branch up in the air. And after bouncing a couple times, it hangs upside down in the air for, well, as long as you leave it there. Clearly, it would have been unpleasant for somebody to get stuck in it, but you have avoided that.
Do we look, has anyone come? Does it
No,
alert anyone?
no.
Or
It makes
anything?
no more noise than the rope being wrapped around a branch and yanked up into the air.
You wanted me to go into that thing?
Kind of like a
No, I
whip
wanted
sound.
you to disarm that thing since you are a rogue.
That's good to know. I'm going to push you into it next time.
Yeah, technically, you guys are making more noise talking about it than it made
Yeah.
when it was set off.
Well,
But
if
I
there's
guess-
a snare here, it's here for a reason. So either someone's hunting in the area or it's protecting something. So I think it's probably wise to take a look around. A detailed look around.
That makes
Detailed
sense.
look.
All right.
Or if we want to hustle away from this, just in case they come to investigate that snare.
A quick, detailed look around shows nothing else in the area of interest.
Okay.
Marching on.
So carry
Keep
on.
marching down the path.
Keep on
All right.
going.
Keep going on down that railroad.
It's still the same order, yes?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to do this as I think a DM might do it with new players. So I'm going to ask some leading questions at some points, and this will be one of them. Is Thor keeping a better eye out now that one trap has been discovered?
Absolutely.
We're actively watching?
Thor is actively watching like a hawk.
Okay. So then after about 10 minutes more, something seems like it might be out of place, but you're going to need to roll for me. This is a wisdom or perception check.
13 plus 3, 16.
Okay. So just as you're getting towards what looks like it's out of place, you realize it's a pit trap. And if you take another half step forward, you're about to step right into it. And you wouldn't have noticed it if you hadn't been paying more attention, you see.
This place is littered with traps.
Yeah.
Hey, so, Walter, what's down there?
It looks like a pit.
Are there any spikes or monsters at the bottom of the pit?
There is no description. So what I'm going to say is it's not very deep because, again, mechanically it says you would only take a d6 of bludgeoning if you fell in, which I think is up to 10 feet. So it's not that deep. But it looks like it's designed to stop anyone walking on the trail. It pretty much fills the whole trail where you were walking. So you just have to walk wide around it.
We still want.
I guess I will take a little bit of a scrap of paper from my bag, and I make a little makeshift sign beside it that says "Trap, watch out." And then I suggest that we continue around that
All right.
and advise everyone to keep their distance from the trap.
I wonder if goblins are literate. If they would even read it.
I can write it in Dwarven,
Okay.
but not in Goblinish.
So here we reach a point in the adventure that we have gotten through the first section. So at this point, once you've defeated the goblins and made it down this trail, you get 75 experience points each. It's just a flat number. And I am to make sure the players record this gain on their character sheets.
So it was
So let me see.
75
75.
from the first encounter and this.
Yes. It's for the first two things, they have an experience section, and it just gives you a lump number. And then afterwards, it talks about calculating it based on how many monsters and how many players. But for now, it's made easy for the DM as well that you've gotten this far, here's 75 experience. Now we do next. Anything from there is good. Kurt's going to get me a bottle of something. All
Preferably
right.
something delicious.
Thank you. Is this a twist top? I
Should
don't
be.
want to
Magic.
break my hand. Thank you.
Magic hat.
So are we going to
So
break
I'm
there
gonna-
for this recording?
I'm going to... No, we're just going to keep going.
Just
Yeah.
going to keep going?
Unless we need a break.
Maybe a little one.
All right. And I can just pause it. I couldn't pause it with the other setup. So let me do that. I will press stop. Here.
Are we still off?
All right. Now we're back now. Why? It's okay.
I mean, I just had a, so my cleric.
It's good. We're at a spot between two things, so...
Right, so just a basic question.
Yeah.
I don't play a cleric usually, and the way that spells are handled in 5th edition is a little bit different, so I just want to make sure I'm right. So I prepare 4 first-level spells that are available to cast, plus I always have Bless and Cure Wounds. So I have essentially 6 prepared spells, but I have... and 2 of those are always prepared, and I have 2 first-level spell slots. So I have, basically, forgetting the 2 that I always have ready and prepared to cast, I've got 4 prepared, but 2 spell slots.
Okay.
So I can, am I correct that I can choose any of my 4 prepared spells, but I can
Yes.
only cast a total of 2 before I get a long rest?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right. Well, to the point though, when we were starting back up, that's actually good to me. That's good to ask on the recording.
Okay.
Because I would think that new players, you get to this break, you just got your experience, you're about to enter the next part. Did I do it right? It makes sense. It fits.
Right.
All right. Any other questions before we start?
I did want to make sure I have this ability called Arcane Recovery. It allows me to recover one of my spells that I've used. So I was going to recover my first level spell slot.
So it's kind of like a second win for magic.
Kind of.
Yeah. You get a little bit of what you do back. That's good. All right.
Need to remember I have
You
a
get that once a
second
day,
win
or-
for
Once
second
per day.
wins.
I saw that. I keep forgetting the fighter. I actually have your character sheet here, one of the blank ones, a noble. I would encourage you to keep an eye on those things that you have under features and traits. The fighter one I just mentioned, Second Wind. I think that's where the arcane recovery is. It's on that right hand side. Some of them you're going to be able to use during a battle.
Yeah, it's super important. Like, I have a Cure Wounds spell that I chose, and when I look up on the right side of this pre-gen sheet, it says, because I'm a Disciple of Life, which I know is a domain of clerics, and in the pre-gens, it's the only domain. I know in the player's handbook there's more and you can choose, but whenever I do any healing spell, the creature regains an additional hit points equal to 2 plus the spell level.
Cool.
So I'm just saying that, so if anyone is listening at home, just like Joe said, there's awesome stuff over there on the right-hand side that you could lose track of.
Yeah.
Or maybe if two of your party members fall dead, you could might
Unconscious.
use that time.
No, I'd say screw that.
I take offense.
I just-
I was unconscious.
I remember in 4th edition, one of the things I would forget is all those at-will powers, the stuff
Yeah.
that were always there because I'm looking at the encounter and the daily stuff, and then I remember, heck, there's an at-will I have that could give somebody like a D6 of healing or something, and I'd never remember it because I'm always trying to figure out the really cool stuff. And I would say, although they have a lot of information on the sheet, which is great, there's a lot of information on the sheet, which may not be so great, trying to remember where things are and how they apply. So we keep an eye on that. I have a lot of information here that we do. Okay, so we're going to move on here. So following and this is narrative from the book, following the Goblin's Trail, you come along a large cave in a hillside 5 miles from the scene of the ambush. So you've traveled about 25, 30 minutes or so at a quick pace. And,
Oy,
yeah,
my feet are killing me.
you have to have twice as many steps to keep up.
Exactly. I'm tired.
A shallow stream flows out of the cave mouth, which is screened by dense briar thickets. A narrow dry path leads into the cave on the right-hand side of the stream. As a technicality note, does anybody want to do the campaign cartography? Does anyone want to try and draw the maps of where you are with a little scale for you guys' reference in front of you? I would say no one has to, but it can provide benefit. On our other game, having that map sometimes gives a little bit of reference. So, as a point, you're about to be going through this, and it's going to be hard, I think, to visualize all of that. So if somebody does a little bit of drawing, it might help. So you are approaching, and what you have is a large cave in a hillside. And there's a stream flowing from south to north, and that stream enters the cave mouth.
Now, would you say that the face of the cave
Well, actually, it flows from north to south.
looks like a giant head and like a goblin face that has like water coming out of the mouth? Like,
I might say that, but it doesn't say it in the book.
flavor text, man, flavor.
Well, that's the point. It isn't there. I would have played it by the book. So, what you have, like
It's
I
not
said,
a
there
map
are
at all.
so picking on Mickey's drawing.
They really are. You
All
draw
right,
the
so
damn
apparently
cave.
you're walking into a cube.
Stream.
Yeah.
Stream.
So the cave mouth, there's a shallow stream in the cave's mouth. There are dense briar thickets on both sides, but there's a narrow dry path into the cave on the right-hand side of that stream.
I guess I'd like to peek in there, see if I can see anything.
Peek in where?
Like there's that narrow
Pecan pie.
opening.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
pecan pie.
oh, pecan. In order to get to the cave opening, you would have to cross the stream and approach from the other side. You guys are on the left side of the stream, and they're using left and right as far as I can see them here, mind you. So there's a cave opening. You're on and there's a stream coming out of it. You're on the left-hand side of that stream, and the dry path that leads in is on the opposite side of the stream. However, it is shallow. It looks like it's only about 1 or 2 feet deep. It's not.
So we could easily wade across. Well, you guys could.
You could swim across.
I could swim across.
But it looks like the way in is on the other side of the stream from where you.
But we gotta be
guys are.
careful. We might die of dysentery crossing it.
Weren't the archers in our last combat in briar or thicket?
Yes. There's
Like the-
thicket on both sides
Right,
of
so
the
I
cave opening.
like to look carefully at the thicket
Approach
around
with
the
caution.
entrance as best I can.
Approach with caution. Cautiously.
Don't roll unless you want to
Looking,
fail.
Walking.
That's a good point. I'll go off on a tangent on that for a minute. I keep forgetting. I want to put up the paper that I have. Essentially, I would hang it right here. It says, if I didn't ask you to roll, it doesn't count. Because I like to play that way. That I hate when people set themselves up for failure. I'm going to search the area. Oh, I failed. I actually just rolled a 1.
Be super
Like,
good.
so I didn't find anything. I didn't tell you to. There's a door in front of you. Now you're going to tell me that you can't see it because you rolled a 1, whereas there is really a door there. But anyway,
There is no door.
searching
good.
the thicket is thick enough that you can't see through it to the other side without crossing over there to look.
I think we should consider crossing the river.
Who's the tallest person on their party?
Could we hack the thicket down?
As what Mickey was just asking, who's the tallest? As a technicality, does it have a height for either the
No.
human or the high elf? Because I would say in previous editions, the high elf might be an inch or two taller, depending. But between the two characters, they're probably close as far as height. But now, as far as crossing the river, what was the question?
Could we just hack the thicket down
Once you cross
instead?
the stream to where
so
it is.
you can't hack it down like right on our side?
So on your side, now you can kind of see the map, but on the side that you are on, the thicket is right up against the hillside. On the opposite side, where the trail is leading into the cave, the thicket is, well, on the other side of the stream.
Okay.
See, as people who have played before, I think it comes against you a little bit. You're overanalyzing, and they're assuming, all right, there's a path, we're going over to the path.
Right. There's a shallow stream and a path. Let's go to the door.
And that's kind of, I think, what they intend here. And I know, because experienced players, even if you want to say you're the newbie, you only played one system, whatever, you've played enough
Yes.
to know
Right.
that there's got to be something we can do from where we are.
Can we rig up an elaborate rope course?
Rope
Hold on, that is one thing you can
harness
do.
system.
No.
The fuck you need rope for?
So who is going across to the other side to take a look behind the thickets you can't see through here? It sounded like Thor was the one looking.
Thor is bored and wants to proceed.
There you go.
Bree is going to need a ride across the stream.
The mighty, mighty stout dwarf Thor more than happily puts Bree the halfling on his shoulders
Sure, why
with the
not?
assistance of Sir Walter and carries her across the
Can't-
6 inches
she
of water.
refuses.
So
Her
the,
feet are tired. While they cross, he massages gently the balls of her feet.
Oh, Thor, thank you. That hurt.
so
feels so
throughout
good.
the stream, the deepest part's about 2 feet. So I mean, I don't know,
Yeah,
chest height or so, right?
She's like
Yeah.
3 feet tall. She needs some help.
But so you get across to the other side. So you get over there on the east side of the stream, flowing from the cave mouth. A small area in the briar thickets has been hollowed out to form a lookout post or blind. Wooden planks flatten out the briars and provide some room for guards to lie hidden and watch the area, including a pair of goblins lurking there right now. Dun, dun,
Dun, dun.
I shoot with Ray Frost.
You're not even there.
Do they see us?
Do they see us?
So,
Because right now it's
the
just
goblins,
creeping.
the goblins are not really paying attention. As soon as you see them, if you choose to be creepy, you want to be creepy?
Yeah, of
creeping
course we're
like
creeping.
Dre.
He's
To the
creeping
mic
with a
like
halfling.
phantom.
Give me a stealth roll, dexterity or stealth, whatever it is you
Both
have.
of us are just him.
I think I
Oh,
have
this is
a.
my passive.
I have a negative to stealth because I'm wearing chainmail, so I have to.
And what I will be doing is matching your number against the goblin's passive perception, kind of like we did with your passive perception when they were hidden earlier.
Does he do the stealth check or do I?
I would say both of you.
I have
Because he could be really sneaky, and he could be on top of him saying, "Oh, it feels great when you rub my feet."
Right. So I have disadvantage because of my armor, which I believe means I roll the d20 twice and take the worst.
Yes.
5.
5. Okay.
Chinka, chinka,
Okay.
chinka, 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 chinka,
I probably shouldn't try to be stealthy when wearing chainmail.
So maybe it's a little bit of the sloshing left over from getting through the stream, but the goblins who are not really watching hear a noise that you make and turn around and see you. And now
That was stupid of me.
we are at another initiative. We have two goblins. And for the sake of formalities, I would want to know how Thor and Bree let others know there are goblins here.
I let them know by the crinking of my chainmail armor as I stealthily
Well,
sneaked
they
up.
knew you were going over there.
That's true.
I
How
hope
do
they
you
did.
let us know?
Yeah.
On
Goblins!
That'll work.
Goblins ahead!
Thor, 15 minus 1.
I'm just going to roll 20s or 1s. This die now, 4 turns in a row, has either been a 20 or a 1.
Brutal.
Yes. There's nothing in between. And this
As long
is what
as you
came
roll-
with the starter set.
As long as you roll a 1 for B, I'm good.
All right. So the goblins'
start?
initiative will
I
be
have.
22.
Oh, jeez. I had a 13, but minus 1 is a 12, so I had a 12.
I'm 14 total.
And goblins have 22.
Correct. They go
right.
first.
Bree has
So, a
post-traumatic stress disorder and rolled a 4.
Even with your rejuvenated feet?
So, and let me just make sure I'm going to play these two right.
We'll just talk while he checks that out.
Go ahead.
What would you
Let's remind Thor, whose intelligence perhaps is not as high as some others in the party, that being sneaky and stealthy and chainmail is generally not a great move for
Thor,
him.
this is
Yeah.
not the best thing to
JJ,
do.
can I have you
Well,
check?
he is also
difficult
crossing a
terrain.
stream
Difficult to
with the halfling on his shoulders.
True.
So whether he was wearing cloth armor, I don't think that he would be very stealthy.
And rubbing your feet. I mean,
Kind of hard to do.
See, I assumed I was a cross and the halfling was off of my shoulders before I started being stealthy. But maybe that was my mistake.
so this encounter is going to introduce us to difficult terrain. So except for where the goblins were laying down with the wooden planks, the rest of the area is difficult terrain in the
Slows us
thickets. And it also provides cover while you are in here.
Difficult terrain
For us?
provides cover?
Well, the thickets, so they're hard to get through, and they cover you up somewhat.
okay.
Now, how far away are me and Ferris from the goblins?
At this point, if everybody went up to the stream's edge and they too went across, you are 15 feet away from what's happening, but you're only hearing it, not seeing it, because they're through the dense thicket on the other side.
Okay.
So you will hear the two goblins shout, and they're shouting in surprise, but they do get to act first. It's you want to say.
Half movement.
Yeah, it's a aye, we're being attacked.
And we reply.
Terrifying goblin voices!
So they
Goblins!
the two of them were laying down on the planks. Well, one's laying down, one's sitting down. They're looking off into the distance. Apparently, they had these little spots cut out where they could see across the stream, but they weren't paying attention. Maybe they're playing Goblin Tiddlywinks or who knows what.
Tiddlywinks.
And, yeah, that's dating myself too, isn't it? And they leap to their feet, they grab at their scimitars and try and ready their shields, and they're going to attack you.
Bring it, goblins. Come.
I guess what I'm going to do here is, are you still tandem?
Would you have thrown me from your shoulders at this point?
I thought that, although I did not say that before I tried to get stealthy, that I had taken you off of my shoulders.
That's good. We're good.
No.
there.
I kind of picture her just going, like, you just kind of, like, giving her a boost, and she just kind of flipping off
Of course.
and rolling into the thicket.
Awesome.
Because, she's seen one too many action flicks.
You might not be wearing boots at this
Probably
point.
not.
Just so you know.
Because my feet hurt.
So I'm going to just give them their numbers. Goblins 1 and 2, and at least to start, Goblin 1 is going to attack Bree, and 2 will attack Thor. 11 to hit.
He misses.
That will
Her
miss.
kung fu was strong.
Yes, his was not stronger. And Thor.
11 misses me.
Well, I've got to roll it. Let's see if
11
I roll
would miss
11.
me.
No, 6. Does 6 miss?
6 misses as well.
Okay.
Surprisingly, 11 miss, 6 hit.
Now, see, when we
Bizarro.
get onto a different game, that could happen. All right, so the two goblins clearly shaken. They jump up. They leap at you, swinging their swords wildly, missing horribly. Now, who's up?
Can I see them?
You heard them. You'd have to. You can do this, but you have to move over there to see
Okay.
them. You
Yeah,
can't
I'm
see
moving
through
over
the
there.
thicket. So you'll move over and you'll see the action going on.
Correct. And
And they have cover. We're going to say the half cover. So what is it? A -2, right?
Can I move up to them or no?
You can move right up to them. Now, does cover count in melee?
No.
Okay. Because if it does not count and you're going into melee with them, then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Because I has a spell I hasn't used yet.
All right. What's the name of it?
Shocking grasp. I'm gonna
Shocking-
grab him and choke him.
Rasp.
This is Darth Vader style.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Find your
Well, it's shocking. It's shocking, so that's more the Emperor with the lightning thing, right? That's,
So be it.
yes.
I was thinking of the.
Die,
Never mind.
Jedi.
Yes.
There's no benefit to taking to doing shocking grasp.
There's
I
no
will.
shock at all?
I will
Well, you
remain
could
at
shock
range.
'em. That seems sort of good.
Okay. So your Ray of Frost does not ignore cover, right?
Does not know.
Okay. So you'll have the -2.
Very nice.
I care not.
For your -2.
Let's see if I care.
I have a 16.
A 16 will hit, yes. Pick number 1 or 2.
Numero dos.
Right now they are equal.
8 points of damage.
Oh my goodness.
Ghetto crit.
So number 2 was the one that went after Thor, and he was already swinging wildly, not paying attention, not looking at anything. The Ray of Frost just bowls right into him, and he, again, popsicle and flops over back onto the wooden planks on the ground. Makes plenty of little noises.
And that's how you do it.
It kind of sounds like when
have
an
so much to
icicle
learn.
falls and there's that little tinkling sounds and stuff.
So much to learn from my.
Yeah. Who's up after Ferret?
Padawan.
All right, Thor.
Excellent. And I am close enough for a melee attack on
You
one of the
sure are.
goblins.
Yep, you and Bree are pretty much next to each other, and there's one goblin left.
All right. I am going to attack with my warhammer. Single hand. 16 plus 2, 18.
That will hit.
Excellent. And then I roll 1d8 plus 2 for damage. 4 damage.
Okay.
It's down here.
So it
Actually, I get
it
plus
hits
4.
him. It hits him pretty hard.
1d8 plus 2.
But you get plus 4 for the hit. So it's actually 16 plus 4, I think. Because that's your...
Oh, that's on the to hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Kurt, you move the microphone down again.
Sorry, that's because I was trying to talk to him offline. Right, but the damage is correct, right? 2 plus the 2.
Yeah, the damage is fine, but you had another bonus too.
When we talk mechanics like that, and we're listening to, go ahead and keep it on.
Okay.
That way, we're
And now it's
catching
Mike's
it
turn.
as part of the starter set stuff.
It's your
All right,
turn
I-
again?
The issue.
Mike's turn.
Oh.
I guess
That's Sir Walter Moss.
Sir Walter Moss will
Hoitily look at them. Sorry.
pointedly look as he crosses the stream mightily.
He says,
and then,
"Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?"
and then he would like to rain down that axe on the last guy.
Bring
You
the
know,
rain.
I love poop on my. I love to poop on my sandwiches.
You should. Is it Grey?
Plus 2.
I love to poop on my salads too.
All right, so great axe coming down,
No, it's not. On your foot.
and he misses that with a solid 7.
Yeah, so you're kind of wading into this melee, which has the one goblin kind of flailing around with Bree standing there and Thor just having hit him, and your great axe is huge. You just can't
I'm
find
like,
that right opening in
Trying
there.
to
right?
not hit one of my own guys, and I'm swinging
Or
the great
girls.
axe
There you
around.
And Bree in the rear with the gear.
All right, Bree.
So, Bree,
now
where is she?
to be clear, now Bree, I think one of your requirements is going to be fulfilled. I think for sneak attack, there's only one bad guy, and you have 2 other allies there.
So she is going to. So she's jumped off of Thor's shoulders and has rolled away. and you kind of see her just kind of lay back and take her little short bow and take aim at the goblin. And she's got a 21.
21 will definitely hit.
Hell yeah. And so she's
Yeah,
going to do her sneak attack.
Yeah.
So that's 2 dice 6. 1 ghetto crit at 9.
For anyone who doesn't know, can you describe what a ghetto
A
crit
ghetto
is?
crit is when you roll the maximum on the dice. So I just rolled a
Yes.
d6 and I rolled a 6.
But that's not a crit anymore, Mick.
It's a ghetto crit.
It's always been a
That's
Doesn't matter what die it is.
Yeah, it's always
it's a ghetto crit.
Whenever you roll
And
the
for my
max.
sneak attack, I did an extra 4.
All right.
So that's 13 points of damage. Right?
You were 1 point shy of killing both with one shot. Now, one was
'Cause
already,
that's how she rolls.
one was already frozen, and I guess we're just. Where do you want to hit him with the arrow?
Right in the eye.
Yeah, so the arrow just hits his eye, and a little bit of his eye comes out of the back of his head, and and splashes onto Sir Walter Moss.
Take that and put that in your pipe and smoke it, goblin.
Goblin punk.
Sir Walter uses a minor action to take a handkerchief out of his pocket and wipe the guts off of his face.
Yeah, I'm using the little stream, and I'm like washing things off really quickly, so I don't have as much goblin brains.
So
on me.
in this edition of D&D, there is no minor action, right? Because I think that would be a cool running joke to use a minor action to do whatever. That could be pretty cool.
I can use it as a free action.
It's a response. What do they call it? Is it a response action now?
Reaction.
Reaction.
That's how shield works now. Right?
Yes.
So reaction. If something's happening to you, you can do.
There's
the
also
reaction.
opportunity actions,
Okay.
which are something happens and you respond to them.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's let me give you a little bit here. So now you have defeated the 2 goblins right inside of that thicket area where they had set up their little ambush spot, or their guard post more so than ambush. And there's nothing else right there in that area, just all thickets. So behind you now is the path that leads into the cave mouth.
Can we check the goblins to see if they have anything in their pockets or
Loot the bodies.
take the loot?
Gonna loot the bodies of the goblins.
Can we make that a standing order in our game that we always loot the bodies?
And then can we like turn around and like kick dirt on them?
Yeah, I want to say no because of the way I've looked at this. For this game, I should say. Other games, maybe, but the way they do this. So, for example, the goblins, there's nothing on them about I'm carrying coins or anything like that. This is a goblin, and it is the goblin entry. Now, when you meet the guy who isn't just a goblin, then definitely make sure you're looting the body. In the meantime, unless you guys want to be carrying extra scimitars, short bows, any arrows you've shot, you can recover
I
now
recover my
to your
arrows.
total because these guys had short bows and arrows.
So picture little Bree, 3 feet. She goes and she like puts her little foot on him and like rips her little arrow out. She turns
Back out of the
around.
front.
She turns around and like kicks dirt and walks
I'm
away.
thinking of all those times in like The Walking Dead or other zombie movies where after they shot him in the head, they rip the arrow back out of it, and it's like nasty. Yeah, that's what just. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
kind of
nice.
gross.
Well, after we establish that they don't have anything on them, I would like to
Standard goblin fare.
pitch their bodies like into the thicket, so that they're not just laying there in case they have like a guard change or something.
Okay, done. What's next?
Quite wise, Sir
Guess
Walter.
we're going to be peeking into the cave like we were going to.
Okay. So just inside the cave mouth, a few uneven stones lead up to a small, dank chamber on the east side of the passage. The cave narrows to a steep fissure at the far end and is filled with the stench of animals. Savage snarls and the sounds of rattling chains greet your ears where 2 wolves are chained up just inside the opening. Each wolf's chain leads to an iron rod driven into the base of a stalagmite. So just inside the cave to the right side is an opening, and right inside there you see 2 wolves on chains, and they're snarling and such. They clearly heard you outside.
We should take them out.
Or
To dinner.
Maybe let them go.
no.
To dinner.
I don't know.
That's
like
a horrible
we
plan.
let them out of the cave. and just
And
like
they eat us. Can we like
maybe I
skirt
can use some
the
animal
wall?
handling to make them calm down.
No, you can
Sounds
do
like
That's
somebody
actually-
read this.
That's actually a thing now. I don't know.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's actually a
It's good point.
skill.
that. Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Does animal handling allow us to sick them on goblins?
Maybe. I don't know.
Depends on how well you do your job.
All right, give it a shot, man.
Go stick your
Go
finger up his
ahead.
thumb.
Give me
I vote to like kind of like press against the wall and see if we can get around them.
I
Nice.
got a unofficial 20.
So let me guess. This is something plus a number that came to 20.
Yes.
Okay. What was it? Just for
I got a 19.
all right. So
plus
you rolled a
1.
19 plus a 1. So I was thinking like Kurt did it earlier. He was. I'm rolling this. I rolled this plus this. Just try and speak it out when you remember. I haven't been, but when we remember, I think it's a good idea. All right. So what do? Do you like?
Just like, and they're doing the
Okay.
dog whisper stuff.
Okay.
And then like,
So.
Okay, Caesar.
So the wolves, as you get in there and you're looking, you see there's actually 3 wolves. You can only see 2 from the opening, but they stop their snarling. They don't bare their teeth anymore, and they're pretty much calmed down. And it looks like they'd probably let you by.
all right, can I get over to the where they're chained up?
Yep.
I would like to go over there and then try to pull that thing out, and then maybe walk the chains out of the mouth and let it go.
Thor puts his shield up, gets in a defensive posture with his warhammer, and makes himself as small as
good.
possible.
Okay.
And Bree goes, "Are you nuts? Wolves eat things like
I
me."
am a hero for all.
For
men
all
and-
animal kind. Yes.
You're not a druid, my friend.
Because
Yeah, but I like
because
dogs.
because of your success with the animal handling, you can let them go.
All right, I will let them go.
Okay.
Wait, why? Oh,
Could
Sir
have killed them and
Walter.
skinned them and sold those in town.
Or sick them on the goblins.
Or just name them Huey, Dewey, and Louie and send them out the door.
All right. So the wolves will take their lead and go off outside of the cave.
All right,
They seem to be grateful.
I would think so.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they were fed very well. They're kind of scrawny, but definitely vicious.
There's
And,
some goblins.
Well,
out
well
there.
done, Sir Walter. Well done,
done.
you crazy ass bastard.
So now,
If
So now-
if I took the chains off, I'd like to take the chains with me.
As a memento.
I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
I'll whip something with a chain.
yeah, let's do.
Whips and chains. This is taking a
Balrog.
turn.
So
we got
where
foot rubbing, we got whips and chains. We're on the right track
you
here,
can put
folks.
3 15-foot chains if you want. I'm just
These
looking
are
at the room they're
serious.
in. It's about 15 feet or so, where they say the wolves can reach. So they probably have about a 15-foot chain.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so you got that. So now you still have this room. You're in the room. We'll call it the kennel because that's where they were keeping the dogs, and because it's labeled kennel, that makes it easy. So the kennel room, right at the stairs, is as far as the wolves could reach. So now that you've gotten them calmed down and let them out, within that room, off to the east, farther, there's a narrow fissure in the wall, and that's about all you can see in here. A little bits of rubble, animal waste, and at where that fissure is, it looks like it's probably a garbage chute. There's just a lot of trash sitting at the bottom of that fissure, and it smells pretty nasty in this room. Smells like animal waste and food waste and nasty.
Can I look up the fissure real quick?
Yep. Yeah, so at the base of it is rubbish. Looking up, it goes up into darkness. Probably from where you are right now, this area is lit because of the opening, the cave opening, and it being daytime. The area you're in is lit, but as you get up to the fissure, pretty much the natural outside light goes too dim to be able to see up into the fissure. And on that note, too, as you look farther into the whole cave, it's going to be too dark for anyone without dark vision to see.
Can I cast light, which is a cantrip for me?
I think so.
on my Warhammer.
Does it have to be on an object? It does? Okay.
I have to touch an object no larger than 10 feet in any dimension. The spell lasts for 1 hour and sheds a radius of 20 feet.
Okay.
Bright light for 20 feet and dim light for an additional 20 feet. So I have 40 feet of some light.
Okay. I'm always waiting for somebody to do the old trick of, casting light on a coin or a rock so you can put it in your pocket to put it out kind of thing. But
Wait, I think I also have dark vision.
Yeah. Dwarves, I believe,
right.
do.
So.
Do you? As a high elf, you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I do.
But the human and the halfling do not. They are not able to see in the dark.
Who turned out the lights?
I cast light for you all.
Thank you, Thor.
I've never done that before.
As a curiosity for me, are there in this rule book, in this edition, for the starter set, is there anything about monster lore, like knowing about monsters by rolling a certain thing?
Probably. Let me see.
Let's take a look, because I'll just say it, but for future reference, something like can goblins see in the dark? Goblins have dark vision. You guys might know that, so they don't need light here. And if you put a light up, they're going to know that someone who isn't a goblin is here.
I would think that would be like a nature thing.
Maybe.
Nature or history? No.
Nature would let you know about plants and animals.
Does it say? Because they do give types for the different things here. For example, goblin is a small humanoid and goblinoid in parentheses. So there's probably some knowledge about goblinoids. Otherwise, there's no need to even label it.
History and Arcana don't cover it.
Okay.
So what you're saying is I just gave away our location to all the goblins in the cave?
Not necessarily. You need light. Now, if there are goblins watching for light sources or noticing, then they're going to see it. But just as a whole thing of, I'm going to treat it like new players and a new system, and your character knows goblins see in the dark, you see in the dark, but you also know you have companions who cannot.
Right.
So when you put a light on, the goblins will probably know that there's someone without dark vision that's around. But it's a necessary evil
Yeah, we're
at this
tough.
point.
We can handle it.
Right.
Speak for yourself, Thor.
All right, so I know I've suggested to Bree to do rogue things before, and
She's feeling kind of confident
doesn't.
since she took out that goblin before, so now she would be willing.
So I'm thinking like this garbage chute, while it would be nasty, it might be a way to like sneak up behind them, or like if she could climb up and then like I don't know, tie off a rope. Like she might be able to shimmy up the chute and then get us to sneak behind them. Otherwise, we can just continue down the path.
I will do that, but I will need your sleeve, sir.
You're going to climb up into garbage, just so you know.
I need you to rip off your right sleeve so that I can use it as I climb up. You see this weird little gleam in her eye. Like, rip off your sleeve, sir.
I'm going to, as a germaphobe, pass on that.
Oh, come on!
50 feet of hemp and rope help?
Yeah, she's got rope. She just wants to mess with him.
How about a
All right.
15-foot chain?
So she's feeling kind of confident because she took out
Okay.
a goblin this last round. So, she's gotten a little bit of her little spunk back. So
Or
she's like,
swagger.
yeah, I could totally climb up that.
So
yeah, bring it. Let's go.
Roll a strength or athletics check.
Strength or athletics? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Haha. So strength would be 13.
But you're not trained in athletics, Mick.
And I'm not trained in athletics at all. That's acrobatics? Oh, there it is. Yeah, 13.
Okay. So you're able to shimmy your way up. After about, was it 25 feet for the light?
20 feet bright plus 20 more dim.
Plus 20 more dim. Okay, so there's just enough light at the end of the 30 feet of the fissure that you can barely make out what looks like a larger room that it leads into. And I actually have to flip an extra page because you went through that other spot. And
We have
So
screwed over the railroad.
not really, because they allow for it. It's in the first freaking room. It's what you can see in there. right inside, it looks like there are a few sacks and maybe some crates that are definitely not of goblin make, human, dwarven, elven, whatever. So most likely from previous ambushes, stolen goods, and and off to your left, which would be to the north, you can barely make out a set of stairs that would lead down. This room definitely goes farther than the light allows you to see.
So just to clarify, we came into the cave, fissures at the end, you climbed up the fissure, and now you're looking out into a
looking
bigger,
out into-
broader...
Yeah.
For like 10 or so feet of dim light.
Do I see
about all she can
anything
make out.
moving around in the room, or do I see anything that could be a threat in that room?
Not within the light that you have, no.
Okay, so I would shimmy back down and say, okay, so shimmy down.
Yeah.
I would tell the rest of the party.
Unless you just want to tie something off and have us climb up. I mean,
I'd have to come and let you know what's up there. I wouldn't want you to climb up
I'm
into
going
an
to
ambush.
interrupt a little bit because it actually says that you have to roll whether you're going up or down. So you need to give me another roll.
So I need to know
Yeah.
another roll to come down. Again, same thing.
Okay, so yeah, you get back down. And it's technically you move at half of your speed.
Mm-hmm.
So where it's 30 feet, you're going to move
Well, my speed's 25.
2 turns, right, to do
12
it.
feet.
So it takes you 10 seconds or so to get up or down.
So I would climb down and let them know, from what I see, about 10 feet out, there's nothing threatening, but it looks like this is more of like a storage area where they have
Yeah,
items that they've scavenged
could be.
from their pillaging.
There might be something of interest there.
I like loot.
There might be something of interest there. We should go check it out.
All right, let's climb up. Do you guys fit?
Everyone can fit. There's no limitation on size. It's just having to have an athletics or strength check.
well, I was thinking it was a dex thing. I am very athletic, so I could climb up there and tie something off since I'm strong and I am athletic.
Okay.
So
I
So
will.
you're going to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
Sure, after I did it the first time.
You did a good job. I appreciate
second
that.
first.
You showed me how it was done.
Remember
And
that. He failed miserably. I'm just
I don't.
kidding.
Wait. 13. I think we established was okay.
Did you have
13,
13?
yeah.
All right, I thought you had higher. Either way, it is okay, yes. So you make it up there. It takes you 10 seconds or so to get up there. And again, you can only see in there about 10 feet or so. And there are a couple of things laying around, like I say, a couple of sacks and crates. And you see the stairs off to your left, just at the very edge of the light.
And I guess I will. I don't have any rope. How do I not have any rope?
I have rope.
You have chain.
I have chain. Although, if I can
it's gonna
tie
be
the
loud.
3 chains together
There you go.
and put it in a.
Shing.
While,
British-
while
Shing.
you're, while you're thinking about that, you hear growling. It sounds deeper and louder than the wolves that you just let out, but it sounds like another wolf.
Uh-oh.
Off outside of your vision.
All right. I'm going to ignore it for this second and deal with just tying some stuff up and dropping it down the chute so that they can use it to help them climb.
Okay.
Do you have something to tie? Because if not, I'm
I mean-
athletic. I can scoot up, and I have 50 feet of rope I can drop down.
I mean, I could use the chain, or I could look for something in the room and drop that down too. So I guess I'll use.
Using a bunch of time.
I guess I'll use
while
that.
I was going to say, while he's doing that, not to step on, but I'm going to try to climb with my rope. Well,
we have established
yeah.
that Thor is not the patient type.
Thor is not patient, and he has rolls of 14 plus a 4, 18 to climb up
climbs
with
up.
my
So
you
50
get
feet
right
of
up
hempen
there.
rope, which I can drop down for anyone who needs it.
Hopefully, I don't drop the chain right on him as he's climbing up the
So
thing.
as you're getting up to the top, you're carrying your light source with you.
On my Warhammer.
Yeah. So you're going to be in mostly darkness. Your dark vision will probably kick in when he gets up to the top. And as you're getting closer to the top and the light shines brighter, you can see farther within there. Right what looked like was right outside of the light you had before. As that halo of light gets in closer, you see that there is a large wolf, 2 goblins, and a bugbear in that room. And it looks like they have been preparing. It looks like they have been preparing to ambush you before he just brought the light up in there. So they're right on the edge of the light source.
I've made a terrible mistake.
And you hear the bugbear who's standing there with, gosh, do they have his... I got to get his weapons. Hold on. Give me just a moment. All right, so he's there with...
You're still down, right?
melee weapon.
You're
all right,
down?
Morningstar.
Downstairs, yeah.
So he kind of looks like this right here. But
It's kind of like a werebear. What is that?
He doesn't look as
bugbear.
much as buggy as I expected him
Yeah.
to be.
So he's standing there with a big spiked Morningstar, and he says, "Who defy Clark?"
Oh, shit.
And he rushes at you.
Start climbing.
Initiative.
All right.
I'm going to give everyone initiative, but you guys have a little
We
bit
hold-
of 2
what,
rounds
we
to get
hold
up
our-
there if you're able to climb up. And I'm going to have 3. I'm
like
going to
3
split.
in a row.
I'm going to split mine into 3 because I
got-
have 3 different creatures.
I got the rare D&D 0 as initiative.
You were frightened into place.
You're like, what if I tie this chain to the... Who defy Clark?
Ay, ay, ay.
Not me. not it.
Ay.
Thorin Stormstriker, also not the mightiest of men, rolled a 3 - 1 for a 2 initiative.
Ooh, we got some problems up top.
So both Thor and
Let's
Sir
see.
Walter need to check their underpants.
The
They're
two-
small clothes.
the 2 up top have the lowest initiative.
Go ahead, JJ. You got yours?
Yeah, everyone's done.
All right. So I have a wolf, Clark, and 2 goblins.
Oh, my
I'm going to
Lord.
do 3 different initiatives because I have 3 different creatures.
All right.
The wolf has a 11 and 11.
That seems higher than 0.
Yeah.
Clark.
Let me just make sure I got that right. No, change the wolf to a 10, please. Clark is 21. And the goblins, woohoo! A 1
Plural.
plus 2 is 3.
There's so
In
much
most
badness
places.
coming our way.
Yeah.
I'm going to get booted into the garbage chute.
Could they just jump
All right,
down
Clark
the
first.
chute?
So,
You
I have
could
to
just
also
jump
say
down
that,
the chute, right?
Thor, who has been very impatient in this game, if he actually reads his character sheet, says, also, I don't trust my gut feelings, so I tend to wait for others to act. Which makes me think that perhaps I'm not role-playing in quite the character.
so you're playing a flaw as a strength and reversing it. And
I like it. It's
that's
opposite day.
interesting.
Well, I gotta think these are gonna be among our bigger bads, and it's time to rock some spells.
That could be. So let
At
me
least for the
just
moment.
finish this right here. I just got to write one more number. All right.
Oh,
So
man.
who's up first?
Clark.
Clark. So Clark.
Oh dear.
Oh, tears. Could you just
TPK on
technically
the
like
starter
just
set.
could you like just let go of the rope and you'd be like, oh, slide
Don't think
down?
that's not exactly what I'm thinking about.
So Clark, in one hand, is holding his Morningstar, and in the other hand, the chain for his wolf. And he shouts, "Ripper, eat him!" and throws the wolf forth at you, and the wolf is going to make the attack on you.
Oh shit!
So what I want to do is put the switch Clark and the wolf, if you would, please.
That sounds like a musical. Clark and
Switch
the Wolf.
Clark and the wolf.
Ripper, eat him!
Opening scene.
So this big wolf, the wolf is about 1.5 times the size of the others that you released. When the chain is dropped, it leaps forward at you to claw at you. Or actually, all it has is a bite, so it's going to try to bite you.
Try.
Gonna
Yes,
bust that
exactly.
animal handling now?
Yeah. We'd be like,
11.
Peace, man.
11 to hit.
11 misses.
Okay, so he jumps at you and snaps and snaps and snaps, and you fend him off. Who's up next?
Rogue.
Go ahead, Bree.
So Bree hears all this commotion.
You definitely do. It echoes down through the garbage
Echoes
chute.
down, and she goes, "I think I've made a terrible mistake." There's a rope hanging down, right? Because Thor sent his rope
He
down.
didn't quite get to that.
He didn't quite get to that.
This happened as he reached the top with his light source.
So is there anything hanging down?
No.
Nope, start climbing.
No,
A
so
chain,
she's
a
gonna-
chain may have just fallen past you to the ground.
And she goes, "What the hell was
I might want to stay
that?
out the way because I'm about to jump
Right.
back down.
Are there stairs or
So you
anything
hear
she could
Clark
take?
up there, and you hear that.
Yeah, she's gonna try to climb up the chute
Okay.
and
Get my
fails
way.
miserably.
Better get
my.
out there.
So you got an actual
I got a 2,
2.
so 1.
Okay.
She rolled
So-
an unnatural 1.
Ooh.
Yeah. So she made it up
So
the
It's
first.
really
you get up-
slippery. There's lots of garbage.
Well, after you guys went up there, there's all kinds of shit on the sides of the. Just kidding.
Do I go ahead of you or do you go ahead of me?
Um,
You were a 0, right?
I was 0, so yeah, you're ahead of me.
All right, so the way they describe this is kind of clunky. You can fall and take damage depending on how far you fell.
But she hasn't.
But
even
if
climbed
you
it yet.
succeed, you get all the way up. And if you fail, how far did you get?
I
she didn't get
just
any.
Didn't
started
go anywhere.
climbing and didn't.
But
Like she
it
couldn't
only-
get a
it's-
good grip.
So it says if you attempt to ascend, you have to do a strength or athletics check. And if you succeed, you move at half speed up or down the shaft. But on a check result of 6 to 9, you neither gain nor lose ground. On a result of 5 or less, you fall and take 1d6 bludgeoning damage per 10 feet fallen. But you didn't get anywhere.
Right. So it's just a
But
failure.
if you succeeded, then you got up there anyway.
Well, no, because you can only climb at half speed.
Yeah,
And it's
but it
a-
doesn't say to roll each round.
Huh?
It doesn't say to roll each round.
Yeah, you have to roll for each half speed you take.
So my half speed
So if
would
it's
be
30
That could,
feet up,
yeah, I
13.
suppose that makes a little more sense. I wish it explains it.
yeah, it's going to take
either
her
way.
2 rounds to
Yeah.
get up at half speed.
All right.
gonna take
So
me-
you didn't make it anywhere, just flailing at
Gosh
the wall.
darn it! She prepares for the next round.
All right. Who's up next? Who's after Bree?
Clark.
All right. So Clark then looks at his 2 goblin guards there. I want to give them names Huey and Dewey and whatever. I'm not
I
going
like
to.
that.
He said he slaps one of them on the back, pushing him forward. He says, "Finish them, kill them, make Clark happy. Clark will build a throne from their bones." In Session 2, our adventurers found their way to the Cragmaw hideout and inadvertently ascended into Clark's room. In our next session, we'll see how they handle that bugbear, his big wolf, and his goblin guards. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.